Welcome to the Trainer HQ podcast, the show that's all about helping fitness professionals start, grow, and scale world-class coaching businesses. Whether you're based inside a gym, run your own studio, or building an online fitness business, we've got the best practice tools, strategies, and real-world experience to fuel your success.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Trainer HQ podcast. Big Jason, you're better. How you going, brother?
I'm excited to be here. Got a really cool guest on.
We do, mate. We are here in Seminyak, Bali. How fucking good is that, brother?
I think it's outstanding, if you're asking me.
With no further ado, let's welcome our guest, Mr. Revel Loughlin. Welcome, brother.
Thank you, gents. Lovely to be here in Bali with you. We're all well fed, suntan, vitamin D, all that good stuff.
You are a pretty much a Bali local, and we're going to hear a bit about that, a bit about the Bali laptop lifestyle, brother. And mate, you also are running our Trainer HQ's Facebook ad campaign. So we're going to be talking today all things Facebook. Well, not just Facebook, but Meta ad campaigns and how people can get more out of it. And that's the purpose of us being here today. So, mate, keen to unpack it. But first of all, mate, you've had a dabble in the fitness industry yourself. So tell us about the days for VSWT.
It was a good swing. It was a good swing. No, I think I was probably the first, I can make money from business moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe 2011, 2012-ish. And just a quick backstory. I was in their CRM when I looked them up and we jumped on a discovery call and I was in their CRM. So that was really funny.
Yes, you were.
But yeah, no, back in the day, way back in the day, I was, handing out leaflets and flyers at Sunday markets in Queensland. In Currumbin Waters, and I would go to the train stations or put the...
What year are you talking here?
2011. And I think Googling how to get more personal training clients, and one day I found Facebook ads through a mentor at the time. I said, oh, okay. And that was back in the day when you could run $5 a day, get 3 leads. And I was like, fuck these flyers.
$1 a lead.
Oh, and the rest. Yeah, it was good. So I started there, and then somewhere along the way, I think COVID kind of not COVID, sorry. One of my coaches left at the time. It was running Rick's Fitness. And I was like, do I want to train someone up? And I was already half out the door into running ads full time for people. And I was like, I'm already there. Let's go. So that's fitness behind me.
So you had a good crack in the fitness. So 6-7 years or something.
Yeah,
thereabouts.
I feel like I was doing pretty well.
Yeah, I really do.
I had a crack at the online stuff. It was more like just selling programs. So it was not even close to what you guys are doing now. But the in-person boot camp, one-to-many, that model, I really understood it. It was going really well. And then moved out full-time into advertising because I was kind of like, you know what? I can do a lot more impact here with the ad stuff, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. And small world, right? Because JD, who's on our program, but also he brought your name up at one of our events. And I said, oh, actually, funny enough, he showed me. I said, yeah, I've been seeing your stuff. I've been following your stuff online and going, yeah, this guy is good. The style approach. So small world, right? And then I believe Brad Davis also was aware of you. He's another client of ours, but a coach from Mandurah and WA.
Yeah.
So I think at the time, is that where you were?
Yeah, so I started really ticking up with the fitness stuff in Rockingham. Rockingham Big House, the same sentiment as Logan. But I didn't know because I moved. And when I started going full tilt,
I've lose the logo.
Right. Then I started going full tilt in ads. I was like local Facebook Rockingham expert, Rockingham Facebook expert, and everyone's commenting on my ads, don't they smoke crack down top? Yeah. Yes. And I was like, okay, shit. I didn't pick this very well, but yeah, fast forward. Shout out to JD for giving me the referral because that was awesome. But JD and I went to the Institute of Fitness back in the day.
Yeah, and that was so. Yeah, he said you two used to goof off a bit in Clark.
I'm not kidding when I say we were I wouldn't say we're the loudest. I'd say we'd goof off a fair bit. And JD is the only one who's still doing the fitness to date.
Out of that group.
Yeah, I know it's some smart cookies in that group.
Yeah,
it was awesome to see.
Yeah, that's cool. So nowadays you got your own, we call it an agency? How would you describe it?
Yeah, it's myself and 2 other people. I guess you would call it a boutique agency.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what I do nowadays, as you guys know, is just heavy into how do I create ads to differentiate our brand or our client's brand and achieve cut through. Because everyone's running the static images, everyone's running the static stuff, and it just, some of it works, but most of it it gets lost in the noise.
But that's not the only thing you do, because you also dabble a bit solar, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about that. So dabble with
Hey. Oh, yeah. So it was a wonderful guy named Daniel Joseph Quinn. We grew up together we known each other for about 20 years down in Foster, New South Wales, little beach town. And so he came to me after leaving an installation job about 6 years ago. I was already running the lead gen stuff fairly successfully.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want to start a solo copy? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. $20 a day. This is where ManyChat ads were splitting.
Oh, yeah.
And you go in there and the ManyChat bot would qualify. You get a number and email. Daniel would follow them up. He's very much a people person, extroverted. So he would follow them up, call them, very down to earth, made a couple of sales. And then, fast forward 6 years, $20 a day, we're spending on average about $15K a week just to met Southeast Queensland zone. So it's a full tilt. Yeah.
Yeah. And how many people involved in that particular business there?
I would say between 20 to 33, I should know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the problem for us at the moment is salespeople and appointment setters. That's the difficult part. Leads isn't the problem. So surprising.
So you've done your bit, right?
Come on, guy. Come on, Eta. Come on, say.
So what portion of your week's dedicated to the solar business? What portion is dedicated to, say, running your agency as such?
I would say solar is a meeting Monday to Friday every morning for about 15 minutes at 6:30 a.m., which is good. Gets you out of bed. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
You guys probably get up earlier. And then on a Wednesday for about 3 to 4 hours, I'm with Daniel, my business partner, shooting out, fancy new ads or directing them on that kind of stuff. And then I don't really need anyone from there for the solar side of things. Just launch code.
Right. So in many ways, you set that up to run itself with a small portion of involvement from you, of course. Yeah. That's great. So really following that entrepreneurial journey, which then enables you to express the more creative side, which is your agency.
Yeah, huge. Yeah. And I was just saying to the guys before, if I had to advertise solar for the rest of my life, I think my creative soul would die. It would burn. So yeah, and it's fun. Like, it's cool having creative control over the solar stuff, because advertising solar is not sexy. No one wanted to see ads about solar. So being able to have full creative control and go to the full extreme of how we were going to elicit a positive impression.
How do you make something maybe a bit dull? Because yeah.
Books are fun.
Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. So then, it's been how many years now you've been in the advertising space? Like, it sounds like it's been 13.
Yeah, 13 for
33 years. And you must have seen the change, like you said, from static ads, which some people are still running. We were before we met you, to some of the ones that you recommend now.
Yeah.
Is that just from your own test and measuring that you've noticed what works, what doesn't work? I mean, we were talking before the amount of time an ad would have to run for, but more importantly, the content, right? It's got to be on point.
I think you leaned into it right there. I think the content is more important than it ever has been, or the creative, or the ad itself, whether like the image or the video. Yes, the copy, yes, the headline, but more so like what's the first thing they see, which is the image or the video.
I still remember, and this probably is a good point for what we're talking about here, is that it was that video you did, and you've got this loaf of bread, but it looks like a watermelon.
Yeah.
And but you're not saying much at this point of time. So it's always like this suspense of like, where is this going? And you're cutting the bread. And then I think you get out, I think it's butter. But it just captured how the attention going, okay, where's this fucking video going? You're sitting here with this bread that's watermelon. So that's an example of this is your creative side of us, where you go, rightio. And you go, okay, I know what to do.
Yeah.
And where did you find that for anyway?
15 minutes down.
Are you kidding?
I'm not even kidding. There's a place down the road. I went to lunch with a friend a few months back now, and that watermelon bread, as you could imagine, just caught my eye. What's the room? I was like, I gotta get that. I'll do something with it. I don't know what, but I sat down, pushed it together really quick. Really experimental stuff like that I haven't proven, because it's 20 seconds in the ad where I don't say anything.
Yeah.
But I guess you would call it a visual hook.
Yeah, definitely.
A really interesting nugget that we could talk about very quickly is a visual hook. I've found tends to be successful when you're doing something with your hands to start the ad with, whether you're delivering on camera.
Yeah.
You might be buttering some watermelon bread. You might be cutting a slice of bread. I don't know. You might be in there with a spoon taking seeds out of a pumpkin. I don't know. But that stuff with your hands is definitely leaning into that visual hook, which is something I've explored a lot over the last 2 months, especially.
Yeah, I remember when I was learning to become a presenter and speaker, though, that was a big part of it, your movement, your hands, so I guess similar thing, right? Keeping people engagement.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
I think it's just that. And then because we assume that the attention span of people on social media today is dwindled considerably, that maybe it's just taking what you've learned with the speaker stuff and presenting stuff and now doing more with it.
Yeah.
Leveling it up a little bit.
There was even I can't remember the name of this guy, but it maybe he was in the personal development field, but he used to, you almost like it was overdone. And I used to laugh because you see all the people going, man, what's with the fucking hands, but I go, but you watched it. You're commenting on it, so even though you're saying this other day, man, what's all the go, but you watched it versus sitting there like that and probably no comments, no engagement. Exactly. I laugh and go, well, he's probably got you because that's, he took the time to write a comment.
Comment's a comment. The funny thing is Facebook and Instagram doesn't necessarily know the sentiment of that comment, whether it's positive or negative. So you boost engagement.
Yeah.
It drops your cost per 1,000 impressions. And then you reach more people for the same daily budget. So it's kind of like, if anyone's dealing with trolls and they're paid at, it's like pederastic. Yeah. What I try and do, which is optional, is I try to, suck more juice out of these trolls. Yeah. So I'll try and get a bit of the thread happening where it doesn't get a bit nasty.
Yeah.
And but what made you say that? And another paragraph, I was like, that's interesting. Yeah. Can you please elaborate? Another one. And then the engagement goes up and then your customer spikes. Like, yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, that is good.
And speaking of industries and so forth, like who have you looked after in terms of ads? Has there been some interesting different types of businesses? Yeah, give us some examples.
Thank you. I forgot, hey. But probably my first favorite holy crap client sold horse makeup. God, this is in fact, and I was down south in Perth. I think I was in Margaret. I was just about to go up one of those treetop climbing courses. Oh yeah, ropes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll just quickly take this call. And how she found me was a different strategy I'll talk about later. But how she found me, and then we got talking. She sells this makeup that goes on horses. So if they have one white sock that only goes to here and the other one's here, then I
have seen that.
Even it up and balance it, because when they do the show jumping, the aesthetic, got to your horses, I guess. The aesthetic is very important. Yeah. So that was an interesting client. It was on respectfully a crappy little Weebly website. She was doing, between about 5K USD a month. And then we sort of took that to 15K, not doing anything terribly different, just more updated tactical stuff. That fancied with the ads. Most of it was static images. This is pre-COVID. And yeah, that was a really cool one. And actually my first client back in the day was selling, he was manufacturing sailing boat sails in Perth. And I think he came second in the world. So you had a bit of credibility there as well.
Yeah.
He had a Weavy website as well. And we started running his ads to the Weavy website to people in Germany. And I think he made his first sale in the first 2 weeks on $5 a day. This was years ago as well. That was crazy. So all of these really outlying things that, at the time I had no idea about. And I would tell people that I have no idea what's going to happen here. But if you're happy, go.
Yeah, and talking niches, you got real granular. Yeah, that's niche inside of niches, right? Specializing horses. Right.
There, yeah, it was crazy. So there's been some very, very interesting stuff that, yeah.
Yeah. Let's diverge back to the fitness industry. So obviously our clients, and you'll become well aware of the type of people who we service. They're the type of people who are going, okay, cool. What are the first steps, right? So let's say that, well, first of all, I guess there's that point where someone goes, do I consider going to an agency of such? And for some people that can be a barrier because, there's typically set monthly fees, all the rest of it. So do you want to just touch on that for a moment?
One of the things that I speculate very heavily is that most PTs are very good at understanding the concept of a personal brand, right? And so they're very good at marketing themselves. Most of them are fairly comfortable getting on video, though they're pretty happy with that. And most of them are fairly good at delivering on the camera too, having probably already started on social media, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And so I feel as though that's that half the equation in terms of shooting ads. And then it's well, then what type of ads should I do? Now, whether I should choose an agency or not, I would personally start with there's so many good resources on YouTube as to how to set up a lead generation campaign. That would be my first step. I actually wouldn't go to an agency first if I was just starting with Facebook ads.
Yeah.
And I think that's been really helpful for me, even because I don't know how to run Google ads. Being able to watch over what an agency is doing, or at least have a dabble before we engage an agency. Now I know what good and bad looks like. And then, I have this backup of, okay, the agency is telling me this, and then I'm seeing this, and I can at least bring it back to the, you know what I mean? And so that's been very helpful. So whether I was working on a gym floor and the gym was bringing me clients and I wanted to test out some Facebook ads, I would still start myself. If I had my own gym, I would definitely start my ads myself. They probably already dabbled in some stuff like that. And I do think that the differentiator between what's going to result in good performance with ads or bad performance in ads is the ads themselves.
Yeah.
So specifically the creative, right down to the concept behind it, like you were saying, video, how do we hook them, how do we engage them, all that part?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, who are you talking to? Is it too broad? Is it?
Yeah.
So understanding that, right?
There's a post I put up today which is kind of has a little bit of fire behind it, but I think that most people they want to differentiate it. They want to differentiate themselves from their competitors. They want to let their customers know their uniqueness, their unique selling point, but then they'll go out and they'll copy their competitors' ads. And I'm like, this ain't it. Do you know what I mean? This is contradiction what we're looking at here. And so one of the things that really, gets my soul on fire is formulating and documenting ways in order to achieve that differentiator and that cut through. Yes, the stopping, but also giving our customers something they hadn't seen before, even if it is a different format, like a testimonial videos, instead of like sitting down in front of the camera like this and going, I worked with Rev and he's really good. We came in and we were, earning negative $1,000 an hour and 10 grand a month. And he's really good. I definitely recommend him. Everyone's seen that before. And so it's been able to, cut a track and kind of figure out a way to breathe life back into those different ads.
It'd be like we were calling our clients and getting them on the phone and having them on speaker. And so again, something different, and was a more up-to-date live result that they got just recently, rather than just like, kind of started, I was making this and now I'm making that.
Yeah.
Because people get to expect it, right? I've even had people say that they kind of switch off to a bit to some degree for the old school testimony, right? Yeah.
And it's a shame because they're probably glowing testimonials about you. It's just the delivery or the format is none. I always say you love this. I always say the Ad King infomercials.
Oh yeah.
And and the other one, Toe Gym with Chuck Norris, either 6-minute abs, right? All that stuff. And it was just the same infomercial to the point, bashed down everyone's throat, where they were just numb to what they were saying. I think the same is happening or has happened to a lot of ad types, like the generic testimonial, posting static screenshots of your Google reviews, even talking heads to a certain degree, absolutely static images, and all that kind of stuff. I think it doesn't really achieve cut through. And I think it's worthwhile saying that you can absolutely post a static image and get a result, but let's say that in context, someone who watches a 7-minute skill show ad type video and becomes a lead, regardless of price, and a static image lead are two very different leads.
And I've definitely seen that where some of them, an agency or whoever may promise we'll get you the leads, and they do, but they're terrible. They're really really low quality. They don't remember half the time. Click of the ad.
Yeah.
It's a lead form. I saw it a bit like an infomercial. I saw it at midnight. I was eating Tin Tams. And I've had clients who have had a female studio, whatever, go they're getting us the leads, but really, it's 30 to 1. And then calling 30, contacting 30, then half will go, who are you? Where are you from again? If they're watching a 7-minute video, they're going to remember you.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the buy-in's so much more. The intent is so much higher. People talk a lot about Google leads versus Facebook leads, and it's I can't compare them because the behavior is totally different.
Yeah.
if we were, I don't know, we're looking for a restaurant and we were first time in Bali, we'd go to Google. It's like, we have a problem to solve. I want to eat. He's hungry. I'm hungry. As opposed to Facebook being more interruption based.
Yeah.
I always try to, and I think the solar business kind of leveled this up, was now I'm the co-business owner. I am also responsible for the type of person I bring into our business. And, so back in the day, that was people who don't pay at least $300 per quarter on their power bill. Like, we can't realistically help them. Doesn't make financial sense. And so that became a qualification step of our Facebook ad and reform. And we talk about it in all our video ads, blah, blah, blah. And then lead quality went up. So I think the lesson here, if anything, is if your lead quality sucks, ask more questions in your lead forms.
Yeah, because getting leads one thing, but like you said, getting qualified leads through doing your ads in a particular way, speaking to the right person, is another game.
100%.
So, mate, on the topic of Google, because that's of interest to us, because we advertise on Meta, we advertise on Google, and we have a higher ad spend on Google. But what we often notice, it's a higher quality of lead. So could you touch a bit on that, the difference and the expectation and so forth?
I think that most of the time, in my experience, Google has just been limited by the amount of people who are searching for that thing on a monthly basis. Obviously, if you're a global international business and you offer and you can deliver to the whole world, it should be fine. But, if you're, let's say, limited nationwide or definitely statewide, then that will be the limitation, is the amount of people that are searching on Google on a monthly basis.
Right.
And then you'll probably find, again, I'm not a Google Ads expert, this is what I've observed, that on a monthly basis, you'll find that there'll be a certain amount that you can spend up to, and then it feels like you've hit this kind of ceiling. Could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. And then Facebook is everyone that didn't even know you existed, that would consider having a conversation with you with the right kind of persuasion, the right ads, let's say. And that's that. And so if the question was, would I do Google ads or Facebook ads? I would do both, because they work so beautifully in the synchronization. You've got, you got your pixels, someone clicks on a Google ad that you paid whatever for, and they hit your website, and now Revel comes in and retargets you on Facebook. So now I get a second, third, fourth, fifth impression on that high intent click over here from Google. So it's like I would say they're tandem. Yeah, they work very well.
So given you got a solar panel business that you would get. So,
they're great.
Sure. Yeah.
I wouldn't use our Google ads as like a very good example of Google ads, because they're just okay.
Yeah.
But we've had problems scaling Google ads, definitely.
So more, it is more on Meta.
Absolutely. Oh, way more in Meta. Yeah, way more in Meta. I think, we'd spend maybe $2,000 a week on Google ads, and because we haven't figured Google ads out, and the Facebook stuff is about $15,000 a week. The Google ads, we had some website issues as well, tinkering with stuff that we shouldn't have tinkered with. But I have found that of the Google leads that do come through, they're like up in the 80s and 90% fully qualified, ready to go.
Yeah. So great level of qualification. Yeah. So, and then you speak Facebook ads, but you talk about Meta, the platform.
Yes.
So does Meta decide where to go, Instagram versus Facebook, how much, or do you decide that?
I tend to only erase things that I don't like or remove things that I don't like in terms of where my ads show. Like, for example, with your guys' ads, I remove a placement of what's called audience network. So that's Facebook or Meta don't show these guys' ads on, Tinder. Don't show these guys' ads on some random website, or don't show it on the MyFitnessPal app, because they might look good on paper, you reach a lot of people, but the actionable rate is really, really low. People who actually click is very, very low.
Yeah, right.
So I tend to use the standard stuff that everybody already knows, which is Facebook newsfeed, Instagram newsfeed, Reels on both platforms, Stories on both platforms, and that's about it. And that's where most of the eyeballs and the attention is anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to know. And what about other platforms? TikTok, do you dabble in that? Are you an advocate of it, or?
I think I am. I used to be 100 miles an hour on TikTok, ads, that is, before all of the political stuff happened, and like TikTok, we want you to sell to the US. That really messed up things. Prior to that, I was full tilt into TikTok. I was like, how do I spend 15K? Sorry, how do I take 7K from 15 a week in Facebook and dump it into TikTok profitably? And I was full tilt into that to the point where we can usually pay up to $150 for a sales qualified lead for our solar business. And on TikTok, we're getting sales qualified leads for $65, like insane for our bottom line. But the only trade-off is that you had to produce easily 2 times more ads because it would fatigue faster. That's what I found. It's much more turbulent, less stable than Meta, I would say.
Yeah, okay.
And then now, for me personally, I approach it more so for, okay, we've got an extra, a couple of dollars or $100 a week to spend. Let's do some branding and awareness. Let's have people see us again on TikTok. That's how I'm approaching it. Right. I've gone heavy Facebook, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, and then back to Facebook ads, with TikTok being very good organically, very, very good organically, but not heavy on the advertising front. No, not anymore.
Let's go back to the fitness pro, PT, studio owner or whatever who's looking to dabble, and you said they can start by, I guess, really doing some learning, some education. We'll get to that soon. But how much would someone expect to maybe invest, like in terms of money, ad spend, all that? Let's say they got to have some time in the game, some skin in the game to get a result. How long should they do it for, and how much should they expect to sort of drop to try and see an outcome or to get some sort of return on investment?
I think a minimum $900 a month, $30 a day is a great starting point. Great starting point.
To get enough information, feedback.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Like for those who are a bit more, they like numbers, it's all about impressions. How many impressions can you get in a testing cycle, which I use 4 days. And so when I launch a bunch of new ads and a campaign and it's nothing, let's say nothing's proven, they're brand new ads, static, whatever. And I'll launch it $30 a day. At the end of 4 days, then I make my judgment calls as to what's working, what's not working. Yeah.
And this is assuming that they actually know their audience and all the other stuff we were talking about before, right? So they're not just going, okay, well, I heard them say $30 a day, I'll just go and do that.
Yeah.
But again, back to they don't know what their messaging is. They don't know what they're trying to target.
Context is very important.
Yeah.
There's I don't want to confuse people, but there's obviously a few variables to running social media ads. You've got your psychological angles, you've got your how do I stop people from scrolling, you've got interruption, you've got storytelling.
Yeah.
You've got all of these different ad types, which I'm big on. We can talk about in a bit as well. And then you've got, there's some sales elements in there as well to be able to marry whatever happens next with someone clicking on an ad to becoming a paying and referring customer.
Yeah. Because we hear it all the time, right? Oh, yeah, I tried some ads and I didn't really hear anything from it. And we look at it for 2 minutes and we go, I can see why.
Yeah.
And not saying we're experts at Facebook marketing or Meta, but we are pretty up to speed with how to market, how to know your niche and look at someone's stuff and go, you've got no idea who you're trying to talk to.
Yeah.
Other than, hey, I'm a PT.
Right.
And, I'm an online coach. Come and sign up.
I'm really good.
I'm really good. Trust me.
And would that be, and you may have answered this, but if someone's got this or got it right, knows their niche, knows their messaging, and could they in 30 days get some good feedback to go, yep, okay, this thing's working? Yeah. So you think that is enough time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like technically enough time is for every 4 days, something should be validated or invalidated. I'll give you a real life story. So I'm consulting with a friend's gym, and he's in Perth, and we did our first Zoom consultation, 90 minutes, and taught them about all of these different ad types, talked to them about their creative, taught them a little bit of scripting. And I was like, hey, go away and shoot the videos, shoot the ads, make the creative, make the static images. They launched those. In the first 4 days, they didn't get any leads. So basically $120, quote unquote, down the drain.
Yep.
But there was one ad in there that had a very low cost per thousand impression, right? So it has potential. So I told them to switch off the other 3, leave this one running, and then they already had some other experimental ads ready to go, because that's what we're doing. We're constantly being like, we assume they're not going to work. And so we've got more ads ready to come through. We're not just hoping these things
like that. We assume they're not going to work. Yeah, to have that.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we launched another 3 ads with the old ad, and then they got 2 leads on their very next day. And these guys were ecstatic. Like, they were stoked. Like they've run Facebook ads many, many times in the past, and they hadn't got, jack shit. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, it's just kind of like, well, the learning here is we have ads that are differentiating ourselves from what other people have seen in our competitors.
Yeah.
And then we're also always proactive with, okay, these are launched. Cool. Let's go back to the drawing board and what are we going to produce next? Because we've got 4 days to wait until we can evaluate. Yeah.
I think it's a very important mindset that you just said about assuming they're not going to work, where most people go like, it's like their life depends on it. It's like, this is my last $2,000 if it doesn't work, so a bit like that, and they go into it with that expectation rather than go, well, listen, you might have some things to figure out here and you're investing to get that information is what you're saying, but not going, I'm going to invest $30 a day and I'm going to get a squillion leads, because you're setting yourself up for failure to some degree, right?
The Hail Mary play.
And then they get disheartened by it and they're not looking at it the right way. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's I feel like that's probably a good indicator that you probably shouldn't do the thing if you're leaning on Facebook ads to be your Hail Mary play. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah. It's like back in the day doing flyers. And now, and it's, have 500 flyers, didn't get one lead. Oh, that's shit.
And
Where's what all
I
that?
don't know my number. I was doing close to 700 for one inquiry. Like your guys' copy was obviously better than mine. Damn.
Well, it's what we call the hope plan, right? So it's fingers crossed, hoping for the best, and we just see way too many people do it. Putting all your eggs in one basket, and you go, well, hold on. Number one, you need the strategy. Number two, you need to be very clear on who you're targeting and where we're going to take them. What's going to be the next step in the journey?
Hopium. I learned someone call it last week. Hopium. It's a terrible drug when you're in the Facebook marketing world or the meta marketing world. It's like, because so many people, and I think everyone's done it, you put so much tender love and care and soul into one ad and you're like, this is going to be a banger. And then you launch it and it just bleeds money. And you're like, oh, we'll give it another week. We'll give it another 5 days. And before, like, what could have been cut off at, $120 is now $1,000. You've sunk into, flogging a dead horse, almost literally. When, I try to help people remove the emotion from this experimental phase.
Yeah.
Because if you're starting out for the first time, we can talk about different ad types that have a high chance of conversion. Absolutely. And that's putting your best foot forward. But it's still, when you're starting out, extremely experimental. Because even though, Facebook ads guy over here, and I teach someone else Facebook ads and I give him my face and my ads and everything, his account will just perform differently. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And so you take that into account with, okay, this is an experiment. I'm paying to figure out what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And by virtue of figuring out what doesn't work, by default, I'm doing more of what does, or a deductive strategy.
I love that statement too, paying to see what doesn't work. Yes, because ultimately that narrows it down. Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess now we're at an age where we do have the ability to get organic inquiries or interest and leads, and I think I've heard you talk about that before. You have a playground where you can actually do some content and see if you're getting people to DM or comment to know that you're maybe on the right track, right? And you go, okay, that particular content's landing with my audience, probably gives me some indication that I've got some of the messaging right, the copy right, whatever it may be. Do you talk about that a little bit? Is that something you like doing first as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, going straight to I'm doing paid ads.
Well, I mean, I'm a little bit more, I'm not as risk averse as other people, so I'll usually go straight to ads.
Yeah. Well, we would too. Yeah. But yeah.
But the interesting thing about organic, I got this from Gary Vee 6 years ago. And I think he mentioned it where, you take your organic posts that have, disproportionately performed well compared to other stuff. So my stuff is like between 300 to 400 views. Anything that, cuts $4,000 views.
Yep.
I'm usually ripping across for an ad to some degree.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. There's a relationship client of mine on TikTok, and it was a very easy campaign because I took 3 of his videos that did over 4 million, added a call to action to the end, and just ran them as ads, and it was like leads from day one. Really, really good. And so that's kind of an extreme example. Most people don't have this, millions of views on there. That you will notice if you've been posting organically for any amount of time, let's say a couple of months or even 3 months, you'll have stuff that has performed considerably better than the others. And there can be some information to take away from it. You know, watermelon bread, organic. That was an organic post first.
Yeah, right.
And then it proved itself there. And then I pulled it across for remarketing. And now everyone sees my fucking watermelon bread ads everywhere, you know. I looked at my Instagram insights today.
You know, the watermelon bread guy, you know, I don't know his name, but he's the watermelon bread guy.
A few people have mentioned it. A lot of people come from my skill show ad type.
Yeah.
Which we can talk about that for the benefit of your audience as well. That the watermelon bread is like it's a great engagement one, but it was quite insightful to look at how many people engage with it versus how many views, and then working out a kind of ratio to figure out what my benchmark would be for Revel's marketing organic stuff.
Yes,
you know?
gotcha. Yeah. So doing like videos and booty shots in the gym and all that for content, and going what you had for breakfast is probably not going to be the good indicator of an ad. I'm having a fair big, you know, 90% of.
Fair enough too. But I think that I thought about this when I was on the Scoopy. I ride a little Scoopy. Have you seen a Scoopy? It's the smallest bike in Bali that I ride.
Is it ever to see?
Yeah.
We go out.
Yeah, you got to see me. Like if I get enough wind behind me, I can fly. It'll take off. But no, so an interesting study that was done years ago was they had a group of people that was in a room and they were looking at a picture of a baby. And in this other room, they were put in front of a picture of an old man. And they asked each group, have you heard of this?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And I used to use this example for using cute puppies in ads and why it has such a positive reception. But the people in the room with the baby photo said, oh, no, it's a cute baby. It's 100% positive first impression. And then the old guy, everyone was like, oh, I feel a bit sad. I feel a bit awkward. And I was like, it's just, they have no context, but they have a totally different first impression.
Yeah.
So to come back to fitness, booty shots, what you had for breakfast and all that kind of stuff. I know that there is a lot of emotion tied to seeing certain food items. When I see a steak, I think I'm going to be full. I'm going to feel really good. I fucking love gravy. Throw some fries in there as well. I'm going to have a very good sleep. All right.
Yeah.
I have memories attached to those, you know, those food items. So positive first impression, yes. Like the whole
Unless you shock an ass and then it's
true.
So positive.
Not so positive. I mean, but then you could lean into the troll.
We'll edit that.
But then you could like lean into the trolls. But I think let's call it what it is that yes, there is an element of sexualizing what you're doing in your content that has let's call it a positive first impression. People will at least give you, you know, an attractive person more time than they would an unattractive person.
Oh yeah, man.
Just generally speaking. But also, and testing a lot of these different things. So I've tested a lot of different like male to.
That's why you don't put us on the ads at all. You go, fuck, you're not going to put these two fucking mugs on there.
Whatever they're saying is not validated. I've got the data. Videos and skill shows with both of them in it works. But stuff that we tested between like male and female, like no surprises, female outperformed male, regardless.
So we need some better looking females on our stuff.
But then context is important though. The interesting point is like the context around if you have a attractive person up here or a female in the front of Trainer HQ, and then they talk to Jason or Brad or whoever they talk to.
Yeah.
That creates now a disconnect. So you might get a lead, but it would be in my opinion, would be better to have the expert up front, first impression, and let them see and hear that person.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, the reason I'm bringing it up because I think like there's that small part of it, like show a bit of yourself, fit, strong. But if that's your diary, if you're like sharing your personal diary rather than how am I helping clients, you still not got any message across. It's more of an ego base. Maybe look at me, I'm training again, and there's like your last 10 posts have all been you training and a booty shot. You know, I'm not just picking on, you know, booty shots. I'm just saying it could be guys just training the gym. But I go through and go, but who do you help? And what do you do? And what do you specialize in? I get that you're fit, strong and capable, but I look at your bio and it's got online trainer and that's it.
Yeah. What am I getting from this?
Yeah. I'm not sure what I'm getting from it. Yeah, that's probably my point.
That's a good clip. This might be a good time to segue into an ad type called a skill show ad type. which is your guys' best.
And I just think that it's maybe they don't know what else to do is probably where I was going with that. Like what else am I going to do, which is what you're about to talk about now, right?
Well, I like to think about why people do, why they behave the way that they behave. And when I think about my fitness days, I was just doing what I saw other people were doing.
Yeah.
It's totally influenced, 150%.
Seem like you do.
Exactly. I'm like, well, it works for this person with, back in the day, 15,000 followers on Instagram was a lot. Now it's kind of barrier to entry, but that was a lot. And I look at what they were posting. I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll just post that. But it's a totally different context.
So, Rev, you mentioned now the skill show a few times. So we're keen to unpack the skills show, and you can explain to us, I guess, the concept behind it and why it's been working so well.
Okay, so for context, a skill show is a showing of your skills, everything, or your entire process in order to give the result that you charge for in a video ad. Like a customer or a viewer who sees your ad for the first time should be able to watch your ad and get the result that you charge for, or closer to. Obviously, if you're going to get, I don't know, plastic surgery or something like that, you're probably not going to be able to do that yourself, right? So context. However, you should give as much away as you possibly can for a couple of reasons. There's this word that's thrown around a lot in the business and the marketing world, which is social proof. And most people, when they hear the word social proof, they think, oh, reviews, testimonials, videos, Google reviews, Facebook reviews. And whilst that's good, and that as an ad needs to be leveled up because people are numb to those, you've got this other thing over here, which is you can build trust by teaching people. You can build trust by, if someone watches, say, your guys' skill show, which is a great ad for your campaigns, is they watch 7 minutes, they get to the end. Yes, they're a very, very warm lead, but we've taught them a lot very quickly. I think it's important to simplify it. So it might sound like I'm going to, in 5 minutes or 7 minutes, doesn't really matter how long it is, I'm going to teach you my entire process to help you lose X, Y, and Z in 6 months, let's say. And then you simplify it and you give it all away. They might be able to download some templates or some, rough nutritional stuff or training guides and plans and all that kind of stuff. But you are quite effectively giving it all away. And I know how that sounds.
Well, it's something I learned in the early days. That was what I got taught. Take your best stuff and literally teach it to people, give it away, show them how good you are by actually physically showcasing it and putting it out there. Yeah.
When did you learn that, do you reckon?
It was one of the earliest things I learned in marketing. It's like, get yourself out there and just get it in people's hands, stuff great quality information down people's throats.
Right.
And it positions you as the expert, the authority. And it's, again, if it's something you enjoy doing, is actually sharing good quality information. Once again, you'll shine in that space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The interesting, at least online behavior that I've been able to observe is if you think about the last person that you followed on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, whatever platform, it's usually because you've read a piece of content or you've watched a video and you're like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking. This is cool. I want to see more. And so the action that they take next is clicking a follow button. It's the same as an ad with a skill show, but now they're clicking the inquiry button. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
So a skill show should be scripted in a way that is you're giving away your entire process. Again, all close to, in a video ad, presented, scripted properly, not just wing it. And then you would offer soft call to actions throughout that skill show. When you can tell when you're talking and things are getting a bit sticky, you can tell people might just be about to yawn, maybe.
Yeah.
And so you would offer and obviously, if you have no desire to do this yourself, you can click the link below and we can book a call and we might be able to work together.
Yeah.
Soft call to actions throughout that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And certainly it was one thing that stood out for us was the skill set one, and we found it's worked incredibly well. But there can be the people watching 7 minutes, too long, but we're talking about a totally different concept here, right? We're not talking about reels on your socials, organic. We're talking about a specific attention or intention for an ad, just so people are clear on that.
I think so. Yeah. And I mean, just to hit that on the head very quickly, I think an ad can go for as long as it needs to go for in order for you to get the learning across simply.
Yeah.
That's all.
And it was a bit like back in the day with copywriting, right? It was like how long should it be? Well, if it's engaging, if it's done right, it'll keep people's attention and they'll read the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then for other people, they're skimming. So there'll be main points
Yeah.
in it that they could do it. So
I think that's a bigger problem than how long a video should be, is how long your copy should be.
yeah.
In my experience as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a copywriting expert, but when I look at some of this stuff, I'm like, this is beyond an art form. This is
Yeah.
a specialty, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. To storytell and
absolutely.
words.
Yeah.
It's unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then other ad types that you can do something similar with. So yes, Skillshare is very good, I think. All health coaches, PTs, any fitness business should absolutely consider it. You would start with a script. That's step one. What do I want people to walk away with? Like, and would they be able to get this result that I charge for? Script that, deliver it on camera, edit it. That becomes your first Skillshare ad type. You've got these other ones in there that achieve a lot of cut through and differentiation as well. Stuff like, this is new stuff, by the way. I haven't even told you guys this.
Oh, yeah. Drum roll. Here we go.
So I've got, you're familiar with sticky notes, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Sticky notes. Yeah.
So everyone knows what sticky note are. They've probably seen sticky note ads before. And those still work quite well just as a static image itself.
Yeah.
But where we're sort of unpacking it and leveling it up again, I'm holding a piece of paper for anyone listening. But if we imagine this is a sticky note that says something like, tried all of the fad diets.
Yeah.
I guarantee you haven't tried this. And that's written on the sticky note. And then I'm going to go and place this sticky note somewhere. I'm going to get my phone and I'm going to start recording it just in a still frame for like 3 seconds. And so if you imagine that I place this sticky note down against something, let's say a kettlebell, a dumbbell, or maybe a squat rack, maybe the logo or some brandings in the background and in the far background, I'm getting my phone and I'm filming it static for about 3 seconds. I'm just holding the video on this sticky note. And then what I'll do is I'll get person filming to back off and I'll pick up the sticky note and then I'll deliver my talking head as I picked it up.
Right.
It's one of those things where I can incorporate some motion into what would otherwise be a static, proven ad type. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So what I'm talking about here is ad types that are proven and merging them together to get additionally another type of thing out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all of that kind of really creative play, I think you've got to be in the right headspace to put this stuff together as well. But all of this creative play, what I'm trying to get across is, yes, I think we should always be experimenting. I think at least 20 to 30% of our ad budget should be in this experimental stuff always.
Great advice. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you've got, your bread and butter, 60% of, let's just say whatever, going to stuff that's proven, but you don't have proven stuff. And so if you're starting out with Facebook ads for the first time, you're 100% experimental until you get to the end of 4 days and the sticky notes worked or the Skillshare's worked and I'm getting leads and certainty.
Yeah. And I guess the other thing I'm hearing is people not to get disillusioned with things that don't work because things not working is absolutely like standard, right? To expect a large portion of it to not work.
Yeah.
And the things that work, you go fucking ripper. All right.
Absolutely. Well, the amount of bets that I've lost with my solar business partner, Daniel, where he's like, because I had him go down into Queen Street in Brisbane and interview people and I had to sell it to him. I didn't know it was going to work, but I had to sell it to him to get his ass down into Queen Street. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be a banging ad. Like no other solar company's running this. It's going to work so well. In the back of my mind, I was like, you're a fucking liar. But anyway, he shot it, put it all together and ran it on the first 4-day test. And it barely came through at about 140 something per lead, which our max is 150. So it worked. It definitely didn't work well. And then I think about 2 weeks later, killed it. But that was a lot of effort, resources from everyone to have what I would call a, informed, don't run this ad kind of scenario. But it is the nature.
And for somebody that could be enough to put them off, or you go, hey, I just invested all this time, this effort and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good. Like guaranteed it doesn't feel good. Like I'm still gutted. Like I've been doing ads for over 13 years. If I've got an idea, I'm like, this is going to slap and it doesn't slap at the end of 4 days, I'm still like, I'm going to go for a surf.
We've had that experience, not just with that, but with other things going. That content's going to be amazing. That lead mag's going to kill it. That is so valuable. That nothing.
Yes. Yeah, it's really deciding, but like, I don't.
We loved it, but
Right.
you know,
It was great in our mind.
Yeah, of course. It always is.
Yeah.
It always is. I think the funny reframe that I have nowadays that kind of helps me overcome, not that it's a huge deal, but it's just kind of like, well, we're testing and we're like, oh, let's just go back and do another one.
yeah,
The only time where I would feel stuck is if I ran out of ideas for ads. Then I think I would feel stuck.
yeah. What's
So constantly being able to know what I have access to, what's in my tool belt. I have these 12 to 15 different ad types. I can merge some of these together to create new ad types. And I'll know that a lot of those will be the first time that some of my clients or even my clients have seen those ad types, which is usually a good thing, and then they prove themselves out and then away we go.
That's awesome.
Love it, man. Love it. Let's flip a little bit because, you mentioned surfing. We mentioned the watermelon bread just down the road in Seminyak here. So you live in the Bali lifestyle.
Yeah.
Aussie guy in Bali. Tell us, how'd you get here? How long you been here? What's the lifestyle like for you?
It's lovely. I know my bullet point list as to what I really enjoy about Bali, as I was talking to you guys is I see more of my friends, family, and even clients in Bali than I did when I was living in Australia. Because everyone comes here at some stage. And so I always catch up with them. It's very close. Coming here was about 15 minutes, really easy. And also, there's a client I've been working with for 7 years in Perth, never seen his face, not even a video call, and they've been working with me for 7 years. And he's like, oh, I'm in Legion. Do you want to come down? So we had some bintangs on the beach and had a meeting, perfect.
That's cool.
Yeah. But the lifestyle for me here is great. I do find I'm not really driving anywhere outside of Canggu, so I save a lot of time. But also I would say the level of creative thinkers here in Canggu and in Bali is very, very good people for me to be rubbing shoulders with. I'm able to, somewhat validate ideas before I even, test them out. I'm able to get someone's eyes on something I'm thinking about who's miles ahead of what I'm doing. And I get access to those people. I guess you would say the network in Canggu is super powerful for me.
That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. How long you been here?
Close to 2 years, I think. Yeah, close to 2 years. I actually got invited over to do a workshop, a marketing workshop. So I bought my visa on arrival. I was only supposed to be here for a month. And
that's what got you here.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, I'll stay here for a month. And I was already working remotely. And I was like, well, I'll stay here for a month. I'll do these 2 workshops, meet a couple of people, and then I'll just, go surfing, do a bit of partying, whatever.
Yeah.
And then finished up that, extended another month. And I was like, I think I would really enjoy living here. Obviously the locals are very friendly. I've got the surf 5 minutes down the road. I've got some of the best gyms all within 5 minutes of me. It's just, I think my key takeaway is it's extremely convenient. I'm extremely productive as a result. And just my creativity is through the roof. I've never had so many ideas just pouring out of my ears and actually being able to document them and execute on them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's great. It's so good to hear. And probably no plans to leave by the sounds of it.
Nah, no anytime soon. Yeah, I mean, it's winter in Australia. This will be the second winter I miss. I'm not upset about that.
You're a smart man. That's awesome, man. Oh, it's great to connect in like these, what you've been dropping today, just this knowledge. That's what we enjoy about working with you because that's what you bring to the table, right? So on a weekly basis, we get to discuss these creative new ideas. And for us, that helps us rise up to the next level. Yeah, so it's super exciting for us to do. And then the next part, of course, is for our clients. And on the horizon, what we want to do is get you more involved to help educate our clients as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, well, the cool thing about all of that is on the outside looking in, it's really just a case of, okay, well, how do I help many people all at once achieve some form of differentiation and cut through with whatever paid ads they plan to run or have been running. And most of the time, it is literally a quick fix. Most of the time it is. Yeah.
And I guess you'd almost envision being on like a group one-to-many and okay, we're breaking down Brad's ad today because it'll be very relevant maybe for the others.
That's a good thing about staying within one industry is that you could do your walkthrough, like you said, 200 people watching and it's like all questions answered or majority of questions answered. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're selling cars and he's selling roof tiling and
Yeah.
And I know even when we've had our meetings and we did some filming today before you turned up and that was back to you saying that, remember you and I were on the call and So, everyone's doing that remix or the remixing of a video. So there's Alex Hamosi or somebody on there, and I'm sitting here going, yes, yeah. Well, like what Alex said there, and and I go, well, everyone's doing that. I want to do something a little bit different. So that's what we started chatting about, going, well, there's me playing the shit coach, and then me coming in and giving the
good coach versus bad.
Yeah.
Do you know the beautiful thing about working with clients, people in general, is the what I get exposed to creatively.
Yeah.
Because there's, I would say, maybe 2 or 3 meetings that we've had so far, and we've ripped maybe 3 or 4 very unique ideas out of that for ads.
Yeah.
Now, I don't believe for a second I would, I would have brought those to the table had we have not had that conversation. So it is quite healthy and quite helpful to have people to bounce your ideas off, but moreover, even if this person isn't a Facebook marketer, it doesn't mean their idea is invalid or shouldn't be discussed, because then you can bring it to your Facebook marketer or whoever and have them refine it into an ad or a script. And now this person's idea plus this skill set, banger of an ad, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, where I'm paying more attention to stuff now anyway, because of our meetings and you cannot be in tune with that stuff when you start this process, right? Your subconscious just goes,
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there, and that's how I come up with it, going, everyone's doing those fucking ads, all those, not even ads, but just the reels and the content like that. I'm going, it's like, it's getting a bit boring, getting a bit old.
Yeah.
Like, let's mix it up a little bit,
I forget which rapper quoted this, but it was like, play like a child and measure like a scientist. I think that's very accurate for running any sort of ad campaign.
Yeah.
And that creative side of everyone's, I guess, inner child, if you want to call it that, or inner self. Like, I feel very, very in touch with like my inner creativity and all that kind of stuff. I'm out there surfing, gym, I guess, as well. Like, the creative juices are always flowing. I try to remind myself to take notes and send messages to myself so I don't forget my ideas, even if it is 2 a.m. or whatever. Like, very, very good space to be in. And then you not just your ads, your marketing, but I would say the entirety of your business benefits.
Yeah, so good. You can tell too, you just hear it pouring out of you, the educator, and you can see how much you love this. It's must be very high on your values to like help others, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my retirement plan is to mow lawns when I retire. Did I say that?
You told, yeah, I wasn't expecting
It's
it.
very,
I know what you mean.
is meditative a word? Very meditative for me, just mowing the lines, and I'll listen to it. It's the only time I listen to books or read books.
You're active.
Yeah, I retain so much information by doing, this lawn mowing thing. But I think I would do that, and I just roll around and knock on people's doors so I could stay switched on.
Yeah.
Keep the sales and marketing mentality, and just, that'd be the kind of thing. But outside of that, if I wasn't mowing lawns, then I think what would keep me, and what I've heard from some of the, mature clients that I've worked with, sort of 60, 65, some of them 70.
Yeah.
As they're staying in business because it keeps them mentally active, keeps them switched on.
Yeah.
To the point where there's been 1 or 2 gents who have literally said, the only reason I'm doing this, I feel like if I stop, I'll just wither away. I'm like, fair enough.
We look at these events, right, and we are by far the oldest that come to these things. We might have some that are in their late 40s, not about a lot. There's a lot of young, but just doing this kind of work keeps us young.
Yeah.
It keeps us active. Like, we're going out and partying with it, and then we're socializing, and it's just it's the best. And I would feel the same if we stopped. If I stopped, that part would stop.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
anyway, rock bands and all that, like, I know they live that lifestyle, but I can see while they're 78, they're still touring and all that, because you've still got that fire in you.
Yeah. It's like, what do you do if you stop?
Well, the average person's looking forward to their super and retiring because they're on a fucking job they hated for the last 30 years.
True.
Right. So, and then you stop.
Yeah.
And then everything else stops. Where, you keep doing what you love.
Yeah.
It keeps that fire burning, and,
just continuously problem solving, keep me active. I wake up in the morning, got a big list of problems. I'm like, all right, this looks like fun.
So it's definitely a pleasure to watch, that's for sure. Yeah, you definitely embrace it. So hopefully everyone tuning in today has been extracting the gold, because there's been so much there, and plenty more on the horizon for us to unpack for our crew. So we're super pumped, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for having me, gents.
Pleasure. Yeah, great to be with you in your hometown of Bali, brother.
Never thought I'd hear that in my 35 years on this. Wowee. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rev. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, brother.